Hello everyone. Alright, so we're back with another Jackie Chan movie. And this time it's a big one. It is Police Story 3, Supercop. And of course, not only is it a Jackie Chan movie, it's also a Michelle Yeoh movie. The superpowers collide. Um, this is great. 1992. Obviously, it was Michelle Yeoh's return to action movies after a 4 or 5 year hiatus. Of course, she got married to Dixon Poon, and that didn't work out so well. So she thought, you know what? I'm not going to let no divorce ruin my life. I'm going to get back on the horse. I'm going to whoop some ass. So she comes back with Police Story 3 and teams up with Jackie. And basically, we have Jackie's character from from the original Police Story, Chan Kar-kui. And he teams up with Interpol to basically take down this drug kingpin, combating drug smuggling. So obviously he's paired with Michelle Yeoh's character, Inspector Yang, who is working for Interpol. So you've kind of got Hong Kong working in collaboration with mainland China. So it's interesting. It's really fun, this one. Obviously the action is top notch. Obviously it's interesting, because the first Police Story is phenomenal, and the action in that and the set pieces are great. And what's interesting with Police Story 3, because I love both of them, but they have different vibes. With Police Story 3, you can feel that the scale is certainly bigger, as you would expect with it being a sequel, or a threequel. The scale's bigger, and of course the stunts are bigger, and there is a globe-trotting element to this, because obviously the finale of the movie takes place in Malaysia. Obviously it helps with Michelle Yeoh being Miss Malaysia. It's great publicity. But this is great. The obviously it's a nice simple story. Got to take down this drug kingpin and put an end to the drug smuggling ring, and the action, obviously, in terms of the stunt and the hand to hand stuff. Obviously, both Jackie and Michelle Yeoh are just absolutely top notch with the hand to hand stuff. I mean, you can see obviously on the wonderful cover art here. Obviously, they both have guns in their hands, but then you think to yourself, well, why have they got guns? Neither of them need guns. They're both just as lethal with the hands and the feet as they are with the gun in the hands. So it just always makes me chuckle when you see them stood there with a gun, because they don't need it. But it's great stuff, obviously. In this wonderful Blu-ray that's come out from Eureka, it's kind of, obviously Michelle Yeoh was wonderful in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's obviously she never went away, but it's kind of give her a resurgence in popularity. So along with this, a lot of her classic stuff's been getting re-released. Obviously we got Yes Madam, we're about to get Royal Warriors, we're going to get Magnificent Warriors, and of course we got this one as well. I suppose you could say, because they did Police Story 1 and 2, so they kind of combined, Police Story 3, yes, it's the third in the series, and also it's the one starring Michelle Yeoh. So if there was ever a brilliant time to release it, it's now. But honestly, I mean, I always go back and forth on which is my favourite Police Story. I love the first one very much, and it has a really cool feel. 85, it was a really cool period. 85 Hong Kong. But obviously this one, there's something about this one, and I think it's the fact that it has both Jackie and Michelle together in it, and they have such a wonderful chemistry. The back and forth and the bickering between them is great. And again, you talk about, there's all this big thing about equality now. Although some people say it's drifting more into wanting equity for the other side. But we won't get into it. We won't get into it. That's not for here. But truly, Jackie and Michelle are presented as equals in this. They both get the chance to shine. They both get to do some phenomenal stuff in terms of the stunt work and the fight stuff. And they're both brilliant. They're both tremendously likeable. Of course, when Michelle Yeoh's character's first introduced, she's obviously in a uniform, and she's very straight-laced, and you think, oh, hang on a second, are we going to get stuck up strong woman here? But don't worry, they soon put those fears to rest. You know, when we get, when Jackie obviously he infiltrates the drug ring and posing as a guy from a nearby town, and I think it's Fat San, the name of the town, and obviously they take him to his fake hometown, and he's got all his fake family there, and then in comes Michelle Yeoh hopping in as his sister, and I've talked about how sometimes the comedy in the Jackie movies doesn't always work. For the most part in this movie, just the back and forth between Jackie and Michelle, it really, really works a treat. And then honestly, the Police Story trilogy also could go by the alternative title as Poor Maggie Chung, because her character just suffers so horribly throughout these three movies. Obviously Maggie Chung is Jackie's ill-fated girlfriend. Throughout each of the three movies, she gets put through the ringer in one way or another, some way, shape or form, and it's no exception in this one. Oh, poor Maggie Chung. And just the shenanigans that ensue when she gets dragged into the whole situation in the most unlikeliest of circumstances, because it's revealed that she's a tour guide, would you believe? And guess where she's doing it? She's taking a tour group. She's taking a tour group to Malaysia, where Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh just happen to be on this secret operation. And honestly, I think there's only one time where we get into a bit of too much of the slapstick, and it's very early on, but there's a sequence where Jackie is at the training ground for Interpol, and they have these wheels, like these somersault wheels, and he gets on one of them, and obviously gets into some kind of shenanigans and gets tangled up. That's probably the one little moment in this where we get into that touch much territory with the slapstick, but this is like a 5 to 10 seconds part, it's 5 to 10 seconds of a full movie, so it's nothing. So to ding it on that would just be ridiculous. So that's the only little thing, but aside from that, pretty much all of the humour in this, it works. And obviously as we get to the finale, we get into some high stakes stuff here, and it gets serious, and it does get intense, but it's a really, really great film. And if you do love your action movies, this is definitely one for the collection. Obviously we get it in the Cantonese dub, but the English dub's on here as well. And also, what's nice about both the dubs, you have Jackie and Michelle Yeoh doing their own dubbing on both. So whichever version you watch, even though I prefer the Cantonese, you're going to get Jackie and Michelle Yeoh doing their own dialogue, so that's good. And again, just a beautiful job by Eureka again. The picture quality and the sound quality is phenomenal. They've done a beautiful, beautiful job, as they did with the first two Police Story films. But yeah, they've carried that good work over here as well. So it's definitely worth picking up. If you were interested in what this release was going to look like, if it's something you had your eye on, and if you were wondering to take the plunge and buy it, I would say so. It's probably the best release of the film we've got here in the UK, so definitely worth investing in. And even if one of the good things as well, this movie, even though it's the third Police Story film, it works as its own entity, so you don't necessarily need to have seen the first two to have seen this one. This can work as its own thing. But honestly, I am really, really pleased with this one, and it's definitely one of the top Jackie ones, and obviously one of the top Michelle Yeoh ones as well. So definitely worth worth investing in. You know, if you've seen it before and were wanting a decent version of it for your collection, or if you hadn't seen it before and were wanting to experience it for the first time, this is going to be the best presentation of the film you're going to be able to get your hands on. So that wraps this up. Thank you for listening to me yammer on, and I hope you've found it insightful, or at the very least entertaining. And again, please feel free to share your thoughts if you love the film, or if you have this Eureka release, you know, and would like to share your thoughts on it. Please do so. But thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.